So, we were discussing about the food safety security agency in India or authority in India, FSSAI. This is the implementing organization or framing organization in our country to implement the Food Safety and Security Act 2006, which was passed by the Parliament, right. So, we came to up to that. Now, we also said we will look into the different orders which are different controlling bodies who are also associated with them or with the food, and that comes under this standards in India. So, if we look into this, that there is one organization called Bureau of Indian Standard or BIS. If you go and look into any food laws in libraries, you will see that different BIS numbers are there for different things. For different numbers are there for different things, right. It is not necessarily that BIS will only look into the food part, they also look in many others, right. So, that BIS is one such body, one such organizing or controlling authority who does on the national level, that is a national body of India for all standards that resolves to be the leader in all matters concerning standards, certification and quality. You remember in the last class we were saying that this FSSAI or apex bodies like that, like BIS, they do give accreditation to certain labs, certain people, certain organizations, that the power is given, that they are empowered to go through the quality, safety, all these aspects. They are entitled, they can do, they can perform the test, and they have the authority to either certify or cancel the typical particular product, right. So, those standards are also being framed by this or body or called BIS or Bureau of Indian Standard, right. What it does? It harmoniously develop standards marking quality certification, right. So, it develops the standards or the process of standardizations, that marking and quality control or certification, this is done by this body BIS. It provides new thrust to standardization and quality control. It involves a national strategy for according recognition to the standards, and integrating them with growth and development of production and exports, right. In this regard, let me also tell certain things which are also relevant, that though as food from India, the quantity of export is not that big as the country is, right. It is very meager in number, meager in amount. As far as the country volume and the population is concerned, It is really a meager number. But in spite of all these controlling agencies and bodies, all these standards, there are many cases. Since the word export has come up, I am also saying, I am also sharing. You might also have come across through media that in many cases the consignments which were exported were returned 100%. Now, this is a great loss to the company who is doing it and to the nation, because this not only will also develop the company to grow up, but also will have the capability of bringing foreign currencies to the country, right. We are not going into those what is the requirement of foreign currency, etc., into those economics, because that is not absolutely part of this. But it is obvious that foreign currencies are also required for who does not have unique currency or international currency as a common currency in that country like ours, right. Rupee is not sellable everywhere all over the world. It is true, but either a dollar or euro, things like that which have more impact in the market. So, they are more accessible, more not only accessible, more sellable, more acceptable by different countries, right. So, in that respect, a consignment getting rejected is definitely a huge setback for the company as well for the nation. I heard in one case that in one whole consignment there were some flies or things like that, or some what we call small insects were there. For that the entire consignment was rejected. It is the prerogative of the importing authority, importing country, who will decide, because you, like you, when you go and ask for any product, you are giving money. So, you have the say that I will accept this product or I will reject that product, because you are buying. So, it is buyer's market, right. Had it been like that, the buyer has no other option, other than accepting that. That would have been altogether different. But it is not so. It is absolutely not so, because there are many exporters, many such similar products may be available from all over the world. So, the importer has the choice to accept it or not. But this is a small example, but in reality there are many cases where either due to the poor quality maintenance or poor microbial quality or its maintenance, things are getting rejected or the whole consignment is discarded. So, this is not definitely a good thing. So, if controlling agents like this FSSAI or say BIS, if the laws or the standards or the framework which they are developing, which they are asking the people to abide by, if they are in toto or word to word or in real sense, if they are implemented, then definitely the rejection can be as minimum as possible, right. So, looking back into that, what the purpose of this BIS, it provides new thrust to standardization and quality control. It evolves a national strategy for according recognition to standards and integrating them with growth and development of production and exports. Then main activities of BIS are what? For certification, 2 products are certified by BIS. Hallmarking of gold jewelry, which is not our, that is why I said this is not only the food which is done by the BIS, but of many others. So, this is one such. Quality management system or QMS, environmental management system or EMS, occupational health and safety management system or OHSMS, food safety management system or FMS, hazard analysis and quality control points or HACCP. In short, it may be said HACCP. In many cases, people do pronounce it as HACCP, but it is HACCP, that is hazard analysis and quality control points. HA hazard analysis A and CC, that is critical control point, CC critical control and P for points. So, HACCP, it is a very big word which is associated with food. So, keep in mind. Imported products, laboratory management, then international activities, training services, all these activities are being done by the BIS. Another implementing authority or agency is called AGMARK, AGMARK, right. In many cases, you will see this AGMARK is a symbol, AGMARK is a brand, I do not say brand, AGMARK is a controlling agent whose certification is approved or is accepted by the law. So, that AGMARK is a quality certification mark. So, any product you will see when it is coming in advertisement, they do say that this is under AGMARK, right, AGMARK. So, it is under AGMARK, AGMARK symbol is there. So, it is what we call that blindedly we can accept, right. Here as a scientist, you should also keep in mind that science does not believe blindly, right. Science does not believe blindly. What is supposed to be true may or may not be true at the end. So, science is always curious and that curiosity is served, curiosity is supported by the facts and figures of the analysis. So, what is supposed to be true again may or may not be. That is why that though it may have a hallmark, but still people do have in their mind this kind of some kind of I should say some kind of negative attitude in the mind that may or may not be correct or true, right, whether it is under AGMARK or not. That means, in other word, that the both the controlling agent as well as the control mechanisms are to be such that they are good enough to gain the popularity, to gain the confidence of the consumer. To gain, it is again ultimately the consumer. Everywhere this is the ultimate who is the deciding factor, that consumer. If consumer is satisfied, if consumer is happy, if consumer is having no grudge, if consumer is not complaining, then things are all right. But if, and I said in some earlier class that the level of consumer is varied, right, from we can say from plus infinity to minus infinity, that kind of wide variation. Some are very knowledgeable, some are absolutely not. Why, when, how, all these are not not bothered by them. So, that is why that this word consumer is a really huge, I should say, huge term, huge word encompassing a huge some 1 crore, 130-40 crore number of people, right. I am not saying that all the time all the people, this 130, 140 crore people are going and buying, maybe part of that, and but consumption is being done by everybody, right. So, if somebody maybe X has procured, but Y has consumed, and Y has all the right to either protest or complain or praise. I am not saying that complaining is all the time. It is also praising, yes, this is very good. That also is a certification and satisfaction of the consumer, right. So, AgMark is a quality certification mark. The Directorate of Marketing and Inspection enforces the Agricultural Produce, that is Grading and Marketing Act 1937. Under this act, grade standards are prescribed for agricultural and allied substances. What it does? Again, like earlier FSSAI, we have given two vital notes. Here also we can say that it ensures quality and purity of a product, quality and purity of a product. It acts as a third party guarantee to quality certified, right. So, company X is making a product A, selling it to man M, right, and this man M may or may not believe the company X that whatever he is claiming is may or may not be true or correct. So, who will certify? So, this AgMark is saying that no, whatever he is saying, whatever he is claiming is correct, because it has undergone this standards, it has undergone these tests, such and such organizations have undertaken these tests, and their reports are also examined by the scientific panel of the organization such and such. So, we can certify on behalf of this company X that the product A is both qualitatively as well as purity, quality as well as purity of the product is absolutely fine. There is no complaint. That is certified by AgMark. It acts as a third party guarantee, and this is the third party, that is the AgMark is the third party acting for the company X, that the product A which the company X prepared, manufactured, sold to the consumer is both purity and quality are absolutely at par with the laws and regulations of the country. Quality standards for agricultural commodities are framed based on commodities' intrinsic quality and food safety factors are being incorporated in the standards to compete in the world trade. As I gave the example in the other class that company has exported certain things which were discarded by the importer, right. This is just not like that for without rhymes and reasoning somebody can discard or accept. So, discarding is also based on certain facts and figures or regulations or acts. If they are not being adhered to, then that importer may have the right to discard or throw or return the consignment or the import which was exported by a company X from a country. So, it is the importing country's framework, rules and regulations that will control. So, if this agmark is not sufficiently rich to encompass the food laws governed by the importing countries, then it will not match with that and get rejected. So, that is why that implementation, that is why regulating, that is why monitoring or framing up these standards, these base by the agmark is or has to be of high quality, of high standard, so that international trade it can encounter or it can face the international trade. Then only this import export or export import, this business can develop and this can be supported by this standardizing agency like agmark. Then we look into that the standards are being harmonized with international standards, keeping in view the requirements of World Trade Organization or WTO. Certification of agricultural commodities is carried out by or for the benefit of the product or producer, manufacturer or manufactured item as well as consumer. So, certification of agricultural commodities is carried out for the benefit of the producer or manufacturer as well as the consumer. So, this certification by this third party agency, that third party organization, that saying that this typical product is good at par with the norms and regulations laid down by this agmark agency or agmark organization, that is following the quality of the standard as well as the purity of the standard and it is acceptable. So, this authentication or this certification is to be made at par with the World Trade Organization or WTO, so that the import export this business can sustain or justify. Products available under Agmark are like these: pulses, whole and ground spices, vegetable oils, wheat products, milk products, honey, etc., etc., food products, honey, etc., etc. Okay. Now, some other organizations like Fruit Product Order or FPO 1955. So, this Food Product Order or FPO, this is the 1955 Act, or it was established in 1955. So, the FPO mark is a certification mark in many products. You will see that at the end or on some it is written that FPO is there on the as authenticated or certified, right. That FPO has a symbol as well as that word FPO is written. So, this implies that the product is certified by the agency or controlling agency called FPO, right. So, the FPO mark is certification mark mandatory on all processed fruit products sold in India, such as packaged fruit beverages, fruit jams, crushes and squashes, pickles, dehydrated fruit products and fruit extracts, following the Food Safety and Standard or FSS Act 2006. And the objectives of the FPO are, the main objective of FPO is to lay down quality standards to manufacture fruit and vegetable products, maintaining sanitary and hygienic conditions in the premises. Let me finish this, then I will discuss. It is mandatory for all manufacturers of fruit and vegetables products, including some non-fruit products like non-fruit vinegar, syrup and aerated sweetened water to obtain a license under this order. So, this is also FPO, that is Food Products Order. It is 1955 Act. So, basically, it is controlling the fruits and vegetables, this umbrella, and their products made of fruits and vegetables, either as a whole wholesome or maybe some processed from there, right. So, this in many branded items or okay, many companies product which are packed on the packet, you, as I said, you may find that FPO, it also has a certain mark and also that FPO word, that writing is there, that this corroborates that the product is at par, right. So, it is mandatory for all manufacturer of fruits and vegetables producers, including some non-fruit producing. Now, in this case, we gave the example of fruit vinegar, right, non-fruit vinegar and fruit vinegar. Now, vinegar, as we know, this is nothing but 4% acetic acid, right. So, it can be prepared synthetically and it can be prepared through some fruits and vinegar. So, in that case, or non-fruits, so by fermentation it can be prepared. Obviously, the taste and other things altogether are different, but this FPO has a guideline, has a standard which will tell that product A is made of synthetic vinegar and the product B is made of fermentation, right. Because vinegar by itself is 4% acetic acid. So, acetic acid content is 4%, but smell wise, taste wise, liking, all these are different for the two as guided by the FPO, right. So, this is another certifying agency or organization which certifies food products like products either as a whole made of fruits and vegetables or products made out of them. Okay? Thank you.